In honor of the Met Gala tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing with you all my red carpet routine. Okay. And here's the thing, right? There's already bits and pieces of my red carpet routine out there on the internet. If you wanted to find it, you could. But I've never sat down and dedicated like an hour to describing it in unnecessary detail. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And here's the other thing. If you were to Google red carpet routine and click on the very first Google result that came up, there's a really good chance that you would find a routine that is exactly like mine. Okay. Everybody's red carpet routine is, for the most part, the same. It consists of facials and fittings and getting a haircut. It's like, it can only get so interesting. So again, like nothing I'm going to share with you today is going to shock you. I'm not going to tell you today that I get bird feces injected into my under eyes before the carpet because it makes me look 10 years younger. If I was 10 years younger, I would look 13. But honestly, that's kind of the beauty standard. To look as young as possible and to have the least amount of wrinkles possible. Anywho, but what makes this routine special is that it's mine. And so without further ado, I invite you all to sit back, relax, and listen to me describe my red carpet routine in unnecessary detail. Let's begin. The red carpet routine, I would say, starts like 1 or 2 months before the carpet, because the outfit doesn't just take a few days to pick out. No, picking out the outfit is the most time-consuming part, because the thing about a red carpet is that one of the key characteristics of it is that it's a formal event. There are rarely red carpets that aren't formal. So you can't just go in your closet and pick out your favorite little outfit. Like, you need to be dressed to the nines, of course. And the process of finding an outfit is, I think, a bit more complicated than people would expect. Because again, it's not like, oh, I'm going shopping, right? Like, oh, I'm going shopping and I'm going to pick out a gown and I'm going to buy it and then I'm going to wear it. Instead, it's a process of figuring out what brands want to loan out a fancy look for a red carpet. And most people are like, I don't want to do that myself. So they have a stylist do it. My best friend / stylist, Jared, is the one who does this for me. And so the process starts like 2 months before the carpet. And he could speak to this process better than I could. But from what I understand, the process starts with him sort of reaching out to different brands that I like, that he likes, and asking, hey, would you be down to dress my client, Miss Emma? And then they either respond, sure. Like, do you want something from the new collection? Do you want something custom? Or they say, absolutely not. We hate her and she's hideous. And she sucks and we hate her work and we think she's annoying and she sucks. No, I'm kidding. But they're probably thinking that when they say no. And so then from there, it's like, okay, what are they down to do? You know, are they going to let us basically rent something from the runway? Or are they going to make us a brand new custom sort of look? And then as those offers start to come in, Jared and I are discussing, we're plotting, you know, and we're trying to figure out what sort of generic direction we want to go in. And so a lot of times we'll make mood boards, we'll send them to each other and just start to figure out like what kind of vibe we're going for. Like, do we want something that feels, you know, kind of edgy? Maybe we want like leather and metal, or maybe we want something super ethereal. So we're like, you know, putting together mood boards with stuff that's a bit softer. We just start to get a generic vision going. Simultaneously, the brands are figuring out what they're down to do with us. So it's like kind of this uncomfortable dance where we're like, Jared and I are sort of figuring out what we want to do, while simultaneously the brands are figuring out what they want to do. And then everyone's just crossing their fingers that we all agree on something. And so a lot of times brands will be like, you know, we have some options from the runway, pick your favorite and we'll let you know if it's available. A lot of times it's not. Maybe it got purchased, whatever. So then we have to like narrow it down. And then sometimes it doesn't work out. And then it's like, okay, maybe we go source something vintage. And so Jared goes into these vintage warehouses somewhere. I don't even know where, probably for a reason, probably because they think I would steal things, which I probably would. And Jared, will pick out vintage gowns perhaps. And then, he sends me photos and we go from there. If the brand offers to do a custom look, this is fun. It's definitely more work on everyone's end, but it's pretty fun. Then we start having calls, trying to get on the same page. And then, the brand needs to take my measurements. So sometimes they'll send somebody out to take my measurements. Sometimes they'll make a mannequin that's like my body so that they can make the dress on a mannequin that's based on my measurements. Kind of awesome, kind of cool, kind of extra, but definitely effective and saves a lot of time, especially if the brand is not based in the United States. And like doing a fitting would be virtually impossible because one of us would have to fly 11 hours to get to the other. And so, yeah, a lot of this is starting months ahead because there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of teams involved and there's a lot of work to get on the same page and make sure everybody's happy, right? And once we get a really solid idea of what I'm wearing, we start talking to the Glam team, okay? Hair and makeup, nails, everyone about what we're thinking. We send pictures of the gown. We send reference images from usually Pinterest of makeup that we like and say, this is what we're thinking. But the beauty of the Glam team, hair, makeup, nails, is that they have their own ideas. So then from there, they're like, this is cool, but we need to make it different because if we're just copying Pinterest, like that's not fun. You know what I mean? Like, how are we going to make this feel new? And so they brainstorm and they come up with even more developed ideas, send them back. And it becomes one massive conversation about this one look between like sometimes up to like 50 people. It's kind of ridiculous to be honest, but there's so many people involved. And luckily for me, like I love all these people. It's like fun, I love my stylist. I love my hair and makeup team. Like everybody is like family. It's fun. And it feels like we're playing dress up. So all these conversations are happening like months before the event. Let's fast forward to 72 hours before the event because that's when things really start to pick back up. To start, if I'm traveling for a red carpet event, 72 hours before, I have to be in the city where the event is happening. This is mandatory for me. And I know it might sound like a diva move, like I have to be in the city for 72 hours before the event, but I actually do because I am convinced, and this might sound kind of toxic, but I am convinced that you can see in my face and body everywhere. You can see when I've been on a plane. Like you can tell. And if I do a red carpet, like immediately after getting off of a plane, I will look terrible, to be honest. And I say terrible because I won't even look like myself. My body reacts terribly to a plane. After a plane ride, my dark circles under my eyes have never been darker. I'm puffy all over my body, face, puffy. I'm like bloated. I have gas. My stomach hurts. I look wrinkly and dry. Like everything about me looks 10 times worse than normal. And listen, my thing is, that's not even what I look like. Do you know what I'm saying? What I look like when I'm not traveling is what I look like. I never look the way that I do after a plane ride any other time. The plane is what makes me look like that. So to me, I'm not walking down a red carpet looking like I just got off a plane. You can see it way too much. So it is an absolute rule that I must do the traveling at least 72 hours before. Ideally, like even a week before. Why not? But at least 72 hours before. So that travel's happening. And I would love to say that, when I'm traveling for a red carpet event, I have some sort of airplane routine that's special. I don't. I've seen the videos of people doing their full skincare, hair care, everything routine on the plane, putting their hair in rollers, doing the face masks. I've seen it. I wish I was like that, but I'm sorry. It's just, to me, it's unrealistic. Doing a sheet mask on the plane, are you kidding me? You're going to get serum and like wet, like the sheet masks are like wet. The idea of doing that on a plane is a nightmare to me. Okay. The serum's going to drip onto my shirt and then I'm stuck wearing that shirt for the rest of the flight. I have a pixie now, so I can't really do anything with my hair. There's literally nothing to do with that. But yeah, it just sounds like a nightmare to me. And listen, maybe this is why I look so horrible after a flight, because I don't do, self-care on the plane. But it's just, to me, when I'm on the plane, I'm trying to fall asleep as quickly as possible so that I can forget that I'm on a plane, because I have horrible plane anxiety that gets worse by the day. It got better. It was really bad like a year ago, and then it got better for like a few months, and then now it's worse again. So anyway, it's just a mess. But the last thing I want to add to an already traumatic experience being on the plane is sensory overload, because I have a face mask on and a hair mask on, and there's like a bunch of stuff all over me. Absolutely not. So my airplane routine is literally just get on, fall asleep as quickly as possible, and then hopefully wake up when I've arrived. That is the dream and the goal. And my travel routine has stayed pretty consistent. I only pack a carry-on. I pack really light, and I just try to keep it as easy as possible. Okay, next we need to discuss the fittings. Okay, usually the fittings are happening a few days before. Okay, and the fittings consist of either trying on the look that we know we're going to wear. That's usually if the look is custom or if we only have one option that we really like. Or the fitting is sort of dedicated to choosing what I'm going to be wearing. And the fittings usually take a few hours, because it's not just like, oh, this looks cute. Okay, cool. No, we're tailoring these pieces to fit me perfectly. We're taking iPhone photos of every single angle to make sure that every single angle looks perfect. We're figuring out how to problem solve various weird issues that come with these extravagant gowns. Like, for example, the look that I wore to the Vanity Fair Oscar party a few months ago was sort of a corseted leather dress that had cutouts down the legs, kind of around the vagina area. And so during our fitting, we were figuring out, what's the underwear situation? How are we going to, and so we ended up having to tape a G-string thong up super high on my hips so that it wouldn't be visible, and dye it the same color as the dress so that if, worst case scenario, in a photo or something, you can see the thong a little bit, it'll at least match the gown. So these are all the things we're figuring out. Okay. And we have tailors there figuring out, okay, how do we make this dress fit perfectly in a way that also will look good in photographs, right? Because weird things happen in photographs, right? Like things can become see-through in flash photography. Weird shadows can form in flash photography. So the tailor's not only trying to get the garment to fit perfectly, but also look perfect in a photo as well. So there's like an added layer of complication. And so, yeah, these fittings can go from an hour on a really good day to like, I don't know, sometimes even 4 hours. And usually there's not just one. The first main fitting is for really just figuring out what the vibe is. Like, what are we wearing here? And getting the initial tailoring done. And then the following fittings are sort of for perfecting. And again, those can sometimes go for as long as 3-4 hours, because if something is off, we need to figure it out. And there's been times where, like, I remember 2 years ago, or wait, was it 3? 2 or 3 years ago for the Met, my look had a belt, right? Like I kind of had a skirt and a belt on. And the belt that we were going to wear just wasn't looking right. And so my stylist, Jared, literally had to go get a belt made in like 6 hours. Okay. He had to, I don't even know how he did this. He never even told me. I actually should ask him. He got a white fabric belt and got it dyed the exact Pantone color as my dress, all within 6 hours. I don't know how he did it. It was magic. And that's a lot of times what's happening in the final fittings. Personally, I don't love fittings. I don't love fittings because it's very sensory overload. A lot of times these garments are not comfortable. They're not comfortable, and I have to stand in them for a really long time. And I'm not even, but I don't look forward to the fittings. I'm just being completely honest. It's not like it's putting me in a horrible mood. Like I'm not like grumpy about it, but it's definitely not my favorite part. It's exciting because we're picking out the look and it's creative and fun in that way. But the experience is very physically uncomfortable to a point where I do kind of dread the fitting a little bit. But once I get into the flow and we're like discussing it and like picking out jewelry for it, and it does become fun, but I do dread it. There are a few like rules I have for myself a few days before a red carpet. Like there are certain things that I keep an eye on. Okay. For one, getting too much sun exposure. I really try to avoid the sun before a red carpet because depending on what time of the year it is, I can get burnt kind of easily, you know? And so the last thing I want to do is show up on a red carpet beat red. And that is a possibility. Like it's always on the one day that you forgot to wear sunscreen that you're out in the sun all day, you know, and you get a horrible sunburn. And so I really make a conscious effort to wear a lot of sunscreen and just in general, stay out of the sun a few days before the red carpet. Looking red, like that is not cute. Looking sun-kissed, cute. But looking sunburnt, not cute. And I don't even risk, like, listen, I'd probably look even better on the red carpet if I got a little bit of sun before the carpet because, you know, looking sun-kissed is incredible. But it's not worth it because all it takes is 10 minutes too long in the sun and now you have a sunburn. So I'm avoiding the sun a few days before the red carpet. I'm also avoiding going out, especially before the Met Gala. One year, I think it was last year actually, last year I went out like 2 nights in a row before the Met Gala because there was a birthday party and then there was like a bunch of other events and I don't really go out a lot. So I was like, I should probably, you know, like be social and do the thing. And I completely lost my voice. And I was absolutely terrified because I had to do interviews on the red carpet a few days from then. And I had no voice. So it was a nightmare. I was so terrified. Even the day of the Met, I woke up and my voice was kind of spotty. By the time I was doing the interviews, it was totally fine. But it was one of the scariest moments of my career thus far. And so I just kind of made a rule after that. Like no more going out before a red carpet. Also, I mean, I don't drink anymore and I haven't drank in many, many months. I'm very much sober. But I used to drink before the carpet and like that also, I don't know, just like my immune system would be down. Sometimes you can see a hangover in the face. I don't know, it just like didn't make me feel my best. And there's something about a red carpet, like you do want to feel your best. There's a lot of people taking photos of you. You know, you're seeing people that you know that you don't see all the time. It's like, I want to feel good. I want to look my best. Why not? You know, why not? Right? I look like shit a lot. I look and feel like shit a decent amount. And I'm normally not too worried about it, but this is like the one time where I'm really going to put the effort in so that I look and feel good. I also definitely do a bit of extra skincare stuff. Like my skincare routine for the most part is pretty standard. I've had little phases of using different devices. Like I was using a microcurrent tool on my face for a while there. I was using LED masks for a while there. I'm kind of out of the routine of using those things, except for when a red carpet event is coming up. I step up the skincare routine. I add a few steps. You know, I'm like doing face masks. I'm like using the microcurrent tool. I'm like using the LED mask. I'm doing these things. And I really don't think that they do that much, but it's more of a mental thing. And maybe it makes a tiny difference. Who knows? But it's more about feeling prepared. It's probably more mental preparation than it even is like physical preparation. It just feels good to be like, you know what? If my skin looks dehydrated on this carpet, it's not my fault. I did everything I could. You know what I mean? If I have acne on this carpet, it's not my fault. I did everything I could. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's like covering your bases so that you don't have any regrets. That's sort of why I do that. And then we have the appointments. Okay, there's definitely quite a few appointments that get scheduled right before the carpet. Number 1, haircut and color. Okay, this is crucial. This is crucial. Unless we're doing some sort of updo and I have long hair, then it doesn't really matter. But I think we underestimate, I shouldn't say we. I think I underestimate, in the past, I've underestimated how impactful a good cut and color can be. And ideally, I'm getting that done as close to the carpet as possible so that it looks as fresh as possible. And for me right now, my haircut and color experience is very time consuming because I have platinum bleach blonde hair, as platinum as you could possibly go. And I have a very particular sort of pixie haircut. So both appointments, cut and color, take a long time. In total, it's like sometimes 6-7 hours in total for everything. And I really have a hard time with the cut and color appointment, to be honest. It's really long. You know, like every time I go blonde, I'm reminded how much work it is to be blonde. Sitting in that chair for 4 hours minimum every 6 weeks. Oof. I get to a point where I can't handle it anymore. Like I have a feeling I'm going to go back to brown soon. But maybe not. I don't know. I don't trust myself. I'm all over the place with my hair. But anyway, so the hair appointment, as close to the carpet as possible. I almost always get a fancy facial from a particular facialist. He goes by The Beauty Sandwich on Instagram. And he does these like, I'm going to describe it incorrectly. I still to this day have no idea what he does. I'm not even kidding. I show up to this man a few days before the carpet, or sometimes the day of the carpet, but usually a few days before. I show up to this man, this facialist, and I lay down and he just does something and I don't know what he's doing. Okay. He has like all these tools, like warm rods that he rubs on my face. He has all these serums. He has his own serums that he makes that I actually use every night. And I'm obsessed with his serums. But anyways, not sponsored. And the serum is expensive, but it is unbelievable. Anyways, he's, rubbing all these serums on me. He's using like some sort of like electromagnetic sort of looking, feeling tool. I have no clue what's happening. But all I know is that after the facial, my face looks lifted. I would love to say that I'm above these things. Like I would love to say like, I don't need the lifting facial. I don't want the lifting facial. I am who I am. Like I'm going to show up as I am. I would love to say that. No, I want the lifting facial and I'm going to get it. And I almost always do. The only time I don't get it is if there's some sort of schedule conflict between us, like we can't find a time. But whenever I can, which is most of the time, I go to him. And then we have the nail appointment. And this kind of varies. Like if I'm in Los Angeles, if the event is in Los Angeles, I'm going to go to the nail salon. I'll go to my local nail salon that I always go to, that I love, and just get a manicure there. Like I do anyway. You know what I mean? But if I'm traveling, we tend to do a bit more of a fancy ordeal. And I'll hire a nail tech to come to the hotel room, and we'll do a little mani-pedi there. And I used to always do like super long, super dramatic nails. But recently I'm like really loving the short nails. I originally got the short nails because I'm learning how to play guitar. But then I was like, these are great for more than just that reason. Like, yeah, it's great because I can play guitar, but also I have a gel kit at my house. I can do my own gel nails. Like if I really don't have time to go to the salon, I can just do them myself. I can't do extensions on my nails. Absolutely not. I could probably teach myself, but I'd probably end up getting some sort of like infection. I don't know. I feel like if I did that for myself, I would get an infection. I don't know how, but I would. Anyway, I'm loving the short nails. So I don't know. Like, I don't even know what my Met nails are going to be. I'm going to have to talk to Jared. Are we going to do short nails? I'm kind of into the short nails. I mean, it's obviously easier, but also I do think that they look chic and they are ultimately the most timeless. But I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. A lot of times for events, at least in the past, the nails that we've done have been extensions and they've been incredibly complicated. So instead of, having the nail tech come and do the full set from start to finish on my hands, a lot of times we'll have the nail techs make the nails first on a fake nail and then just come in the day before or the day of and glue them on. So it's easier. I actually learned to do it this way because the first year I went to the Met Gala, which honestly might have been my first red carpet, the nail tech came and did my nails from start to finish the night before the Met Gala. And it took like 6 hours and it was miserable. It was so long. And after that, I was like, that can't be the most efficient way for anyone. Like, it can't be efficient for her because she's like, having to work with my hand instead of being able to like move it. Like if you're painting on like just like a fake nail that's not attached to a body, you can move it around. You can like look at it really close. I don't know. It just is more efficient. I was like, there's no way that this is the most efficient way. Anyway, it turns out it wasn't. And so it became a rule after that if we're doing a complicated nail, have the nail tech make the nails and then come in and just glue them on. Already done. Although now that my nails are short and natural, I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe I guess we'll just do the design on the nail day up, but I don't know what I'm going to do for nails. Anyways, in the days leading up to the event, I feel like there's a lot of things that I don't do that people would assume I would do. For example, tanning bed or spray tan. As I mentioned earlier, I'm avoiding the sun. Okay, so a tanning bed is definitely not going to happen. Also, tanning beds are bad for you, and I'm really trying to avoid things that are bad for me. I don't avoid all things that are bad for me. Okay, I'm not a saint here. All right, but I can resist a tanning bed. I used to lay in tanning beds. Yeah, fun fact about me, if you didn't know that, for like one summer when I was like 19, I used to go in the tanning bed. I was really, really tan that summer. It was kind of unbelievable. I really pushed my body to the limits, but I don't do that anymore. That was only one summer and it was kind of dark, but I feel like every girl in their late teens, early 20s has to have a tanning bed phase. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. Don't have a tanning bed phase. Nothing about it is good, okay? It's bad for you and it like, I don't know, it's just like dark. Like, don't do it. Come on. But I also don't do a spray tan. And I don't do a spray tan sort of for a similar reason that I don't go out in the sun. Like, in the same way that I fear a sunburn on the carpet, I fear a splotchy spray tan. Now, listen, there are a lot of really talented spray tan artists, right? Usually a spray tan gets splotchy or weird because of user error, meaning like the person who got the spray tan didn't follow the post-care, aftercare directions, and like dripped water on it or showered too late or whatever. Like there are certain instructions for after a spray tan, how to make sure that the spray tan looks good. And if you don't follow those instructions, it can get splotchy, it can get too dark, it could be too light, a nightmare. So guess what? I don't do a spray tan. Okay. Now, the reason why people would want to do a spray tan for a red carpet is because a lot of times red carpet photography is really overexposed and it can really wash you out. So a lot of people get spray tans for red carpets, not because, they like want to look tan, but instead so that they look actually more normal on the carpet. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of looking super washed out, they actually look the way that they do in real life to the naked eye. It's not all about like looking super sun-kissed, it can also be about avoiding being washed out. But it's just too much of a risk. Like it gives me too much anxiety that I'm going to mess up the spray tan and then look absolutely flaky and weird on the carpet. It's not worth it. Or like if it comes out a bit orange, like this is just truly my nightmare. So, I also don't whiten my teeth. And you know what? A lot of people think that I should. Actually, I haven't gotten comments like that recently. I used to get so many comments about my teeth being yellow, which I don't whiten my teeth at all. So it's not false. Like my teeth are not perfectly pearly white. I have a bit of stains on my teeth. Hello, I have a coffee company. If I didn't have stains on my teeth, I would be a bad coffee company founder. Like, are you kidding? This actually should prove to you how dedicated I am to my brand. That my teeth are permanently stained. Well, maybe not permanently. Maybe it could come out. But they're stained because I love what my brand sells so much. Like, come on. Ambassador of the year. Like, seriously. I don't whiten my teeth because I have sensitive teeth and I have receding gums. And I feel like whitening teeth, like I've heard it's just kind of irritating. to the gums and to the teeth. And so I've just never done it. But also the way that I pose on a red carpet, which is so cringe to even me. Like well, it's cringe, but it is what it is. Maybe it's not cringe. Maybe it's more just like, oh, well, it is kind of cringe. The way that I tend to pose on the red carpet doesn't involve smiling. I actually refuse to smile. So it doesn't even matter if my teeth are whitened because I'm like making a very serious face. Okay, moving on. I don't do anything to my eyelashes or to my eyebrows. I don't get my eyebrows plucked. I don't get eyelash extensions. I don't get a lash lift. I don't even know what a lash lift is. How do they even do that? It's kind of frightening. I used to get my eyebrows done, but I stopped because I actually really love the natural shape of my eyebrows and I really love the sort of chaotic nature of them. Like, it's not everyone's taste, my eyebrows. Like, sometimes I get compliments on them like, wow, you have incredible eyebrows. And then sometimes people are like, are you going to pluck those ever? Nobody actually ever says that to my face, but I do get comments like that sometimes. I think it's being revealed that I read my comments. Maybe I should stop doing that. I actually do try not to read the comments too much because it does fuck with my head. But I see things. And sometimes I see things about my eyebrows being unkempt. But I actually like the look. I really do. So I leave them. And then when it comes to my eyelashes, I have severe health anxiety. And the idea of anything happening to my eyes, like any damage happening to my eyes, the fear of something happening to my eyes in particular keeps me up at night. Like, I have such bad health anxiety. I'll be laying in bed and all of a sudden my eyes will shoot open and I'll think about, I don't know, like a knife going through my, like, sorry, it's really graphic, but like I have like intrusive thoughts about eye injuries. Like, I'm so afraid of eye injuries. And so going and getting a lash lift, whatever that even is, however that even works, going and getting eyelash extensions, no thanks. I don't need anything that close to my eyes. I'm all good. But weirdly enough, when I get my makeup done and, we put on false lashes, like that stuff doesn't bother me. But things that feel sort of permanent, semi-permanent, like lash extensions, absolutely not. Also, specifically with eyelash extensions, I actually don't like how they look on me. Like, I've obviously experimented with false lashes before, so I know what eyelash extensions would look like. I've never had them before, but I can assume. And I don't think I would like it because I really don't even like false lashes very much. So it just doesn't really make any sense. I also don't get any Botox or any filler. This is just not something that I do. It's just not. No invasive treatments. Like, the most invasive thing I do is get that facial. That's not invasive at all. It's just, I don't even know what he's doing. I still don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's doing something very invasive and I have no clue. No, he's not. There's like electromagnetic currents or something. There's currents going through. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. It's none of my business anyway. It really isn't. I don't care. It's none of my business. I'm showing up and saying, snatch my face, make my face look lifted and snatched. And then he puts his magic wand on my face and then I leave and, I look 6 months younger, maybe even a year. And I'm not complaining. But I don't do any filler, any Botox, no lip flip, no, none of it. None of it. Still to this day, none of it. And last but not least, I don't have any specific workout routine or diet routine. Like, I remember watching an interview maybe a few years ago about the Victoria's Secret models before they do the Victoria's Secret fashion show and how they like stop eating solid food a few days before the show. So toxic. I remember when I first started going to red carpets, I was like, should I be like doing that? Like, should I do stuff like that? And luckily no, I don't do that. Okay. Nothing changes. I'm not even kidding. I mean, the only thing that changes about my diet is that the day before the event, I eat foods that I know agree with me. Like, I'm not going to eat foods that give me gas or mess with my digestive system because the next day I'm going to be wearing something probably tight, probably uncomfortable. I'm probably not going to be able to go to the bathroom whenever I want in this gown. So I'm very thoughtful about what I eat, but not from like a health perspective, not from like a nutritional perspective, literally just from like is this going to hurt my stomach? Yes or no? Yeah. But I don't have like any sort of like, well, a week before the red carpet, I do 4,000 sit-ups a day. No, fuck that. That's where I draw the line. Okay, now let's discuss the day of the event. Okay, everything's usually pretty normal up until the afternoon. I wake up, maybe I exercise, I have breakfast, which is usually something high protein and really filling, because a lot of times on the days of red carpets, I don't have time to eat, or I'm too scared to eat and that it'll push a poop through me and I won't be able to poop because I'm in a gown. And usually in these gowns, I can't go to the bathroom. So I like to eat something dense and filling in the morning so that I'm kind of like good for the rest of the day. I can like snack and whatever, but I'm not like starving and trying to figure out what to do when I'm in a gown and I can't go to the bathroom. Like when I eat, a lot of times when I eat, it makes me have to go to the bathroom. Sorry, TMI, but like it's true. So I'm not going to eat a full meal in my gown that I can't take off, that I can't go to the bathroom in, because there's a good chance that I might have to go to the bathroom. So I'm eating a really high protein filling breakfast. And then usually in the morning before an event, I'll get a lymphatic massage. Now, this doesn't always happen. It doesn't always work out. Sometimes I skip it, but a lot of times I'll do it, especially for the Met, just because I feel like the Met, it's such a special event that I like to do all the pampering. You know what I mean? I really like to do all of it. So the lymphatic massage is a very unique form of massage if you're unfamiliar with it. I'm going to Google what it is so that I can. Okay. According to Google, a lymphatic drainage massage, also known as manual lymphatic drainage, is a gentle massage technique that encourages the flow of lymph fluid, which helps remove waste and toxins from the body and can reduce swelling. I will say the lymphatic massage feels so good. Like the massage itself feels so good. Usually somebody will come to my hotel room and set up the table and do the massage in my room. And it's just unbelievable. One of the women who does the lymphatic for me, who I've worked with many times, she plays acoustic versions of pop music, like soft acoustic versions of pop music. So it'll be like a soft female acoustic version of Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. Meanwhile, this woman is absolutely just massaging the fuck out of my leg. The definition of lymphatic massage says gentle massage. I tell my masseuse to go hard, and so she does. I want to feel really cleansed. So anyway, they massage certain areas of the body and they do it in a certain sort of pattern to help with, I don't know, like helping the lymph nodes process fluid and toxins. I still don't really know how it works. But I will say this. After the massage, I feel relaxed. I feel refreshed weirdly. And I do feel sort of cleansed. And I don't know from a technical standpoint, like if my body is actually being cleansed, but I will say I always have to pee after the massage. Sometimes I have to do more. It makes me have to go to the bathroom. So I always go to the bathroom and I always just feel lighter and just, I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels really good. And especially for the Met, I'm on my feet all day. It's like, it's just nice to feel refreshed. After that, we're doing an everything shower. Okay, there's a bunch of oil on me from the lymphatic massage. I'm hopping in that shower and we are checking every box, okay? Starting with a rigorous shampoo, a rigorous condition. If my hair is bleached at the time, we're using purple shampoo. We're letting it sit on the hair. We're getting that blonde as possible. All right, we're shaving everything, the entire body. Usually the everything shower for me is not really an everything shower because I skip a few spots. Like, I'll often not shave my thighs, like the hair on my thighs is blonde. I'm like, it's okay, sometimes I'll skip the bikini. Like, I don't know. I'm not an everything shower for me doesn't always have to include shaving the whole body. But if it's a red carpet, we're shaving the whole body. Even if my gown is not revealing, I will still do an everything shower and shave everything because it just feels good. I just feel refreshed. I exfoliate my entire body, but I do it gently because the last thing I want is to rub too hard and create like red spots on my body that will then be visible on the carpet. We put body makeup on me, but body makeup only goes so far. And so I'm very gentle with the exfoliating, but I do think exfoliating, when done properly and not too hard, can kind of give a bit of a glow to the skin. And then I get out of the shower and I am slathering my body in moisture. Okay. All over the body, body oil. Yum. Particularly like a yummy, tropical smelling body oil. That's what I want. Like I want something that smells like coconuts. That's what I want. I love the Sol de Janeiro one. Yeah. The Sol de Janeiro Boom Boom oil or something. Holy fuck. That smells so good. I've probably bought 10 bottles of that. Okay. Rub that absolutely everywhere. Okay. I'm doing moisturizer on the face. I'm doing oil on the face. I'm putting leave-in conditioner in the hair. I might put a little bit of oil in the hair. Like I'm just getting hydrated because I found that it just makes everything look like moisture makes everything look better. Like that, like it goes a long way being moisturized. It just makes you reflective almost on the carpet. After the shower, we're nearing glam. Okay. At any point after the shower, glam could be showing up. Okay. This means at least hair and makeup in Jared, but sometimes also nails. Okay. And usually this is happening in my hotel room. Although if I'm in Los Angeles, it's either happening at my house or at a hotel room or at maybe my hairstylist's house or my makeup artist's house. It just depends. Whatever makes the most sense. So I guess there's a chance that I could be going to them. Anyway, now let's discuss glam. Okay. Usually it takes around 2.5 hours. If we're doing really intense hair, like a bunch of extensions or a wig, which I've actually never done a wig for a carpet, but if we were going to do a wig, that might take a bit longer. It depends. But usually it takes 2.5 hours, sometimes 3. And I like to take my time. Okay. We will usually give ourselves like 3.5 hours for glam because I'm friends with these people, right? Like my hair and makeup team, you know, my nail artist, my stylist, Jared, like we're all friends. And so we do tend to shoot the shit a lot. So I don't know, like we don't want to feel rushed. We want to enjoy. We want to gossip, you know, like I also like to have time for like my makeup artist to give me a little massage on the face. Like, I don't know, like there's little things that end up taking up a lot of time. And so I set a decent amount of time to do glam. And a lot of times we've already discussed what we're doing. So on the day of the event, everyone just shows up and we already know what to do. You know, we had been talking about this look for months. So the day of, it's like, we're just executing. We already know. There's no decisions to be made. I mean, as the look is being created on the face, sometimes we'll have random spur of the moment ideas, but it's not like we're under pressure to like create a look because we already have a look figured out. And so a lot of times it's just hanging out. And at this point, I'm usually having my last sips of liquid. Why? Because as I mentioned earlier, I usually can't go to the bathroom in my gown. No. Once that gown is on me, usually I won't be able to go to the bathroom again for the rest of the evening. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. So usually I'm having like one final coffee and like some water with electrolytes in it. And that's going to be it for the next like 6 hours. So after a few hours, glam is done. I've had my last sips of liquid. I go and I sit on the toilet. Okay. I go and I sit on the toilet for as long as I possibly can just to make sure that I'm good. Because after that toilet break, I'm putting on my look. Okay. I'm putting that gown on. And once that thing is on, it's not coming off. And I get anxious when I'm about to put on the gown because I'm like, oh my God, I feel trapped. I'm about to be trapped in this thing for the next, 6 hours. And I will not be able to go to the bathroom. So then I put on the look, which sometimes can take up to like 30 minutes, depending on what kind of look it is. If the look is like corseted, we're lacing up the corset perfectly. Well, I'm not, but Jared is lacing up the corset. If there's like certain elements that need to be tied or certain elements that need to be sewn on. Sometimes that happens where it's like, okay, we need to sew this gown into place on me. And the only way to then get it off is to like cut it off. Like these things happen, okay? So it can take up to 30 minutes to get dressed. After that, usually we realize that we're a little bit late. Like even though we set 4 hours for glam and, 30 minutes for getting dressed, shit just happens. And majority of the time, by this point, we're feeling rushed. We're like, okay, Emma's supposed to be out of the house at 6 p.m. or Emma's supposed to be out of the house at 3 p.m. or Emma's supposed to be out of the house at 8 p.m. But time has slipped away and now we have 15 minutes and we still have more things to do. And one of the things that I have to do is stand in the mirror with Jared and practice my poses. This is something I'm embarrassed to admit. I shouldn't be admitting this publicly. I will probably be shamed for this. But let me explain. Let me redeem myself in your eyes, okay? Here's why I practice my poses. Because, as you can understand by now, the amount of work that went into this red carpet look is significant, right? A bunch of people have put their hearts into this look. The Glam team put their art on my body. The designer of the piece that I'm wearing put their art on my body. Jared, the clothes that I'm wearing is also in a way his art. It's all everyone's art, and I want to make sure that when I walk on this red carpet, I am a good canvas. I display everyone's art well. That's why I practice the poses, because I want to make sure that I am showcasing every detail in a pose. You know what I'm saying? And so Jared and I will stand in the mirror for like 10 minutes and figure out how to pose. And I'll usually figure out like 2 or 3 and get them really solid. And then I just repeat them over and over again on the red carpet because I know that they work. Okay. And after that, it's time to take photos. A lot of times, well, not only do I want photos, to document the moment, but a lot of times the brand who designed the dress will want professional photos done. If I'm working with a jewelry company, if I'm working with a makeup company, they want photos as well. So sometimes we'll have a professional photographer come. Other times I'll make my loved ones do it. Okay. My mom has shot red carpet photos for me before. My dad, my stylist, Jared, like my hairstylist, Sammy, like everybody's taken these photos for me before. And honestly, they turn out incredible. Everybody involved in this is creative. And so if we don't have a professional photographer hired, it's no problem. We'll take them ourselves on my little Canon G7X camera with flash usually, because that's what really just looks good. After taking photos, everybody does touch-ups, and then it's time to get in the car. Now, oftentimes I can't sit in my gown, either because it will crease it or because it's physically impossible because there's like boning in it. A lot of times I can't sit in my gown. So usually I have to rent some sort of van or truck, something, not a truck. I've never rented a truck. Can you imagine I like rent a U-Haul? I'm like standing in the back of the U-Haul, kind of cool. And then the U-Haul opens and it's me at the carpet. That's kind of a cool idea. No, but I usually have to rent some sort of like van or large vehicle that I can stand in because I can't sit in my look. It's very extra. So I'll get in the car standing and I'll go to the event. And then that's it. Oh, like before I go on the red carpet, I fix my lip liner probably 10 times. But that's it. That's my red carpet routine. I will say there are some things that I don't do the day of that people would assume I do. Number 1, drink alcohol. Nope. Number 1, I'm sober to begin with. But number 2, when I drink, I get a little lazy eye. Just a little. My left eye, I think it's my left eye. It just starts to wander a bit. And that's not cute. So even when I wasn't sober, I didn't really drink before the red carpet. Even though it would be nice to calm the nerves a bit, not worth it. But now I'm sober anyway. So it's not even an option anymore. I also don't take beta blockers. Okay. If you don't know what a beta blocker is, it's some sort of prescription drug that you can get that basically makes you not feel nervous anymore. I think it like blocks your adrenaline producers or something. Can I Google that? Beta blockers, also known as beta adrenergic blockers are a class of medications that block the effects of adrenaline and noradrenaline on the body. So basically, it makes you not nervous, which would kind of be incredible for me when I do the red carpet interviews at the Met, because even though I don't get that nervous, but it would be kind of awesome to feel no adrenaline at all. I would be so funny. I'd be so much funnier. I can't have a sense of humor when I'm kind of nervous. I just am not funny. I'm not funny to begin with, but then I'm really not funny when I'm kind of nervous. So no beta blockers for me. But it is sort of a common thing. A lot of people take beta blockers, whether they're doing a speech or they're getting interviewed or they're doing a red carpet. It's just kind of a common thing. And last but not least, I don't use foot numbing spray. And I really need to start, because every single time I wear heels, I'm miserable. And there are things that help make it easier, foot numbing spray being a great example. But for some reason, I always forget. And so I never do it. Maybe I'll start. Maybe that's something I need to add into my routine, because it's not in my routine now. And I do not think it's helping. I think I don't think it's good that that's not a part of my routine. But that's it. Okay. That's my red carpet routine. Listen, it's nothing special, but it is mine. And perhaps that's what's special about it. Okay, that's it. I'm kind of hungry. I have to wrap this up because I need to go eat. In fact, I actually took a break while recording this episode and I had some popcorn. So yeah. But anyway, I love you all. I appreciate you all. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, new episodes every Thursday and Sunday. Come hang out. Find Anything Goes anywhere you stream podcasts and watch on Spotify and YouTube. And find Anything Goes on social media at Anything Goes. And find me on social media and everywhere on the internet at Emma Chamberlain, and find my coffee company at chamberlaincoffee.com or at Chamberlain Coffee, or just Chamberlain Coffee anywhere that you might be able to find Chamberlain Coffee. That's all I have for today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for hanging out. As always, it's a joy. It's a pleasure. And I just am grateful I get to spend time with you. Okay, I love you all, and talk to you later. And bye. Bye.